Okay, so cutting and marking your pattern pieces. We have already cut these out. You follow your layouts in your pattern for that. Now, when fitting a muslin, you can draw right on the fabric, and you will need more indicator lines for fitting something to custom fit than you normally would. And since these are not to be worn, they're just for fitting, go ahead and use a permanent pen, not a marker. They kind of spread and bleed too much, but start with a pen. You can use blue or black ink to start with. Then when you go to make corrections, we'll use red ink. That way we'll know what was the original line and what is the correction line. Now, I've already marked one side of my pattern here. There we go. But you need to mark both sides. So after I've done one, I kept my fabric pinned together, and then now I've flipped it over and pinned down a little bit here in a couple places. My paper pattern piece, it's flipped upside down so it matches the fabric that I have flipped over. And now I'm going to show you kind of how I transfer these markings. And actually I might need to remove that pin so my ruler lays flat. And I lay my ruler right up to a line that I might need to mark, fold back the paper, and then mark that line. And then I've got another one here, center front, marking, and it had a circle down here, a little bit lower. This one had a square. All right. And then I have my dart to mark. So let me move this out of the way. Again, I'm laying my ruler right up to the line there, and I can fold the paper back. And my other leg of the dart. Okay, there we go. Now you can see here I have also already pre-marked all my seam allowances. And if you'll read on the paper, there are edges where it says 1 inch seam allowance. Your crotch seam, the one with the curve, that one has a 5/8. And we'll mark that. The last marking that I was going to, or last two here, that I was going to do, one is the grain line. Now on the paper pattern, notice the grain line doesn't come all the way out to the edge. Well, we are going to draw ours extended all the way out to the edge. So I'll lay it right up against my grain line here, fold back my paper pattern, make sure your ruler does not slide around and shift on you, and I get a good strong line started. And then once I have that started, then I have a line to true up and finish drawing out my grain line. Now in this case, I'm only drawing the grain line up to my dart leg. The rest of it would be sewn under there. Okay, and let's see, here's the crotch seam at 5/8. Okay. We would like to give a line across here for the crotch level. The back already has that line on the paper pattern, but we're going to go ahead and extend it on our front. And the crotch level is even with the intersection of our seams right here at the inseam and crotch, and then it should be perpendicular to our grain line. So I'm going to extend that on across. All right. And the last one I'm going to show you on this one here is the line where it says lengthen or shorten down here in the lower leg. It's about where your knee is. And if you did not have to lengthen your pattern, then just use that line. I had to lengthen my pattern 2 inches, so I'm actually going to draw my new line right in the center of what I extended it, so that basically this line should represent where my knee is. But I can always, when I test the muslin on me, I can check to see, is that my knee level, or do I need to adjust that marking on my paper pattern? All right, so this one's ready, okay, on both sides. Remember to mark both sides of your fabric. I've actually already done the back piece. I'm going to show you that. All right, so my dart, my crotch level, my grain line. I also have my knee. And again, both sides on these. All right, so transferring our marks for our waistband, and before we unpin the paper pattern, hopefully you remember to do this on your pants, you want to clip your notch in. Make sure you select the notch for the size that you cut for yourself. And when clipping your notch, do not go any deeper than that little point there. Your waistband does have a 5/8 inch seam allowance. And then find the marking for your center front, and I actually cut size 12 for myself for fitting wise. I went ahead and extended the waistband just a little bit because I have a feeling my waist is a little bigger than the actual size 12. So I mark for my center front. I can even put CF for center front. I'm going to move on down here, remove this pin out of the way, and place my ruler at center back. It's a very important one to have. There we go, and I can put CB for center back. That's probably my first initial pinning area. And then as I keep moving on down the waistband, again, my next notch, making sure I have that clipped, and then my center front for this last size here, or this end, center front, size 12. Now it does have an extension for the pants, and it allows extra for your fitting after you make the pants the exact size for your waist and line up your waistband. Then you'll be removing the extra on there. But there we go. Next video you will be, or I will be showing you how to sew it up and get ready for installing a center front fly zipper, as well as then the following one, fitting your custom pair of pants. Thank you for tuning in.